Broadcasting to Stoke-on-Trent and the world. This is Six Towns Radio.
We have got a special guest in the studio. We said he was coming down today. We've got Sean Evans from Back to the Movies. How are you, Sean? You all right, mate?
I'm not too bad, Terry. How are you?
I'm brilliant. We've had you on the telephone before on this show because you're a very busy guy in the week, and obviously I'm on in the week.
Yeah.
So it's nice to get you down the studio. I know you've been on another show. You've been on KNF with Harry and the gang.
Yeah, that was right. Yeah, it was a good show, actually, yeah.
So today we're going to get people to know what you do. There's some uninitiated people out there who don't know what Back to the Movies are. They're from Stoke-on-Trent. You're from Kidsgrove. They need to know these things, don't they?
They do. They definitely do. I mean, Back to the Movies started around 2 years ago now. It's coming up to 2 years, and we do marketing for independent and studio films. So if an independent filmmaker hasn't got money for their big productions, they'd go on websites like Indiegogo and Kickstarter and start raising money for their films. Straight away, I'd come on board no matter who they are, help them out, get them the money that they need to make the film. From then it just kind of catapulted with working with a lot of celebrities who are doing their own independent projects. I've worked for big studios, Sony, Lionsgate, and it's just kind of snowballed into something that's it's really, I don't know, it's really taken off in a way, and I mean it's getting me to places that I never thought this would ever go to.
Yeah, this is a good thing about e-commerce because people have set up websites and have had that access, and it's great publicity for people on any budget. You know, you've got local filmmakers who've asked for your assistant, plus, like you just mentioned, some of the big guys there. So, for instance, you know, there's people working on films in Stoke, you've helped them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, an example of that being a director called Chris Stone. Now he's a lad from Burslem, and he made a documentary, a film, web episode called Blood and Bone China, which was a series of episodes about vampires in Stoke-on-Trent. It also starred Rachel Shenton, who's a local girl as well, who's known for playing Mitzi in Hollyoaks. And it really raised a good awareness about the web online. I mean, I interviewed Chris, we did a video interview, and that got really popular. And since then, he's won loads of awards at film festivals. So it's really taken off, and I mean it's creating awareness of Stoke-on-Trent in general, because not just the films that are coming out of there, but the businesses and film orientated things that are happening around Stoke. We've got Stoke Film Office, and I'd like to think that my work is helping out the local area as well to get it more wider known. Yeah,
we've got things like Stokey Fires Film Festival. Yeah. There's quite a lot that goes on that people might not be aware of, like what you're doing. So obviously you're a big movie fan. What's your favourite genre to watch?
That's quite a tricky one. I mean, I'd have to say comedy. I mean, if you're ever low or down in the dumps, I think stick on a good comedy like American Pie being a pure favourite of mine, and I've watched it God knows how many times, but I still laugh no matter what. So it's definitely always good to put a comedy on. I think if you're a bit down in the dumps and you put on like I don't know, if you just split up with your missus and you put a romance film on, it's really not going to help you out. Or if you're feeling angry, you put an action film on, it might just drive you over the edge. So I think comedy's quite a good blend to watch.
Yeah, well, me and Corey are both fans of comedy, aren't we?
Comedy's one of the best genres that you can get.
Yeah, I do like other types of films. I'm the same, but it can evoke all kind of emotion, film as like music can, and the two go hand in hand, obviously, with great soundtracks. But movies, many a time when I was a youngster, I'd watch Rambo and then be out in the back garden with my shirt off with a stick, shooting at birds. Or you watch a love film and you think, oh, I'm the next Russell Brand or whatever. It can happen, but that's the great thing about movies. I watch a lot of comedies, I really do. I've got quite a collection of films, but I also like a bit of sci-fi. Not too geeky. I don't like Star Trek and all that. I've seen the new Star Trek. I've not seen the new one, but I've seen the first one that came back. I'm more a fan of Star Wars than Star Trek. What do you think about that? They're making episode 7.
They are indeed, and I've read the other day that they're trying to bring back Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill. They've put them on a nutrition and diet sort of a genre thing that's going on, and getting them back into shape to make them look like their original characters.
Yeah, well, they've been given a budget and everything is going to be covered, so I suppose Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher, we discussed this yesterday, didn't we, Corey?
Yeah, we
30
did.
Years older now, so they're going to look 30 years older. They're not going to look at how they did, but apparently no one's approached Harrison Ford.
No, not just yet.
He's quite grumpy. I like his little cameo in the Bruno film. The interview.
Yeah.
We've all had interviews like that, even though it's probably a stage thing. But yes, so we're going to talk about films this afternoon. We've got quite a few soundtrack songs to play. We're going to mix that in with the other stuff we're doing. We're going to do as well. It's because it is Innuendo Day. We're going to do some innuendo film titles. This girl said to me earlier, she says, I'd like an innuendo, so I gave her one. That's a good innuendo there. But if you could think of some great innuendo film titles, get in touch. You can email. Where can you email, Corey?
You can email us studio@sixtowns.co.uk, or you can text us 01782 454 180.
Yes.
Or you can even tweet us at sixtownsradio. Or Facebook even, www.facebook.com/sixtowns.
Or you can knock on the door, 26 Queen Street, and shout through the letterbox if you want. You can do so many things. You can text me on 07... No, I'm not going to give you a number. That would be stupid. But yeah, there's so many avenues of contact to get in touch today. But the hashtag we're using on Twitter is Innuendo Day and Innuendo Films. I've already quite a few. We'll read some of them out. Obviously, some of them we're not going to be able to read out. That's going to happen. But I'm going to play a song from one of my favourite films ever. It is the main song from said film. This is Ray Parker Jr. That is Urge Overkill. Sean, I'm going to put you on the spot. What film's that from?
I have no idea.
You don't know?
No.
Pulp Fiction.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's funny you should mention that. I mean, for the first time, last week was the first time I've ever seen Pulp Fiction.
Yeah?
Yep.
I've seen it so many times. One of my favourite films ever. And when they did the special editions and the DVD box sets, I've got it so many times. Not one of the films that I've got once. I've got it so many different editions and stuff. But yeah, it's one of my favourites. But yeah, Urge Overkill is when she's dancing around with John Travolta, and there's the big drug scene.
In the house.
If you will. Yes. Yeah. Yes, that's the bit. So, what did you think of it?
I thought it was the best film that I've seen for a very, very long time.
Very clever.
It is very clever.
It's layered.
Exactly. But you watch it at the start and you're thinking, right, what's going on? There's so many different stories. And then you get towards halfway through the film and all of a sudden everything starts linking together. Mm-hmm. So all the pieces come together, and then obviously right at the end everything comes full circle. Yeah.
Of course, Curry wouldn't have seen that because it's a certificate 18.
Nah.
But it is a good film. When you're 18, watch it. But yeah, Tarantino, he's done some crazy stuff, but he's done some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
I do like things like Death Proof, which didn't get great ratings. Have you seen Django?
I have.
Did you like that?
It was all right.
Inglourious?
Yes, I liked Inglourious.
Yeah, that was fantastic. We've got some innuendo films. We've got quite a few. We've got... I'll read out a couple to tell you the sort of things we're looking at. We've got Dick Tracy. That's one for you. We've also got Cocktail. Of course, you can break that one up into 2 syllables. So what are your innuendo films? We've got loads more, but that is the benchmark at the moment. That's where we're heading. We're going low. That's where we're going. I'm going to play a song right now, which was the theme from The Sopranos. Were you a fan of The Sopranos?
I was.
Unfortunately, we lost James Gandolfini recently. But yeah, he would have been a good interview, wouldn't he?
He would indeed, yeah. It's a shame he had to go.
But yes, the good ones go first. This is Alabama 3, Woke Up This Morning. 6 Sounds Radio, so I've got Sean from Back to the Movies with us this afternoon. You right, Sean?
I'm not too bad, how are you?
I'm great, and not only have you got a website, you've actually got a magazine. I'm holding a physical copy.
Yeah.
You said you were going to send me one of these ages ago, and finally you've brought it down. Just looking through it, a bit of everything in here as well, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, the magazine was published last year. I mean, it was my first ever sort of print to paper sort of thing, and I mean, what better way to start with all the independent films that I've worked on throughout the year. I mean, it's not the best magazine in the world, but it's a start. Everybody's got to start somewhere, and it's leading on to a big documentary that we're doing in early 2014, which will be a very, very interesting project.
Yeah, definitely. You've got your interview that you did with the guy from American Pie, Tom Nicholas, haven't you?
Yeah, I actually met up with Tom in Manchester, and we did the interview in person.
Yeah. He's in a band, isn't he, as well?
Yeah, he's got a band called TMB, Thomas Nicholas Band, and I think his song My Generation was in the American Pie reunion soundtrack. So yeah, he's a really good artist as well as an actor.
Yeah, so you get to do quite a lot of interviews. Most of them are on the telephone because a lot of these guys are in America.
Yeah.
So just name drop a little bit for our listeners.
I mean, over the years, I've had some huge names. I mean, for me personally, I mean, I grew up watching comedies like Scary Movie and stuff. So an interview with Marlon Wayans came across, and straight away I was speaking to Marlon. He was out there in LA on his mobile phone, and we were on a Skype call just talking about his new film that was coming out called The Haunted House. Now, The Haunted House has actually just come out in the UK as of last week, I think it was now. So it's fantastic to know that literally half a year ago I was working on this film, for it to only just come out in the UK. That's quite a great honour for me. I mean, independent artists, I mean, I've spoke to people like Christopher Nolan and people over the internet. I mean, I spoke to Russell Brand last week, so it's nice speaking to people as well as the interviews. But when the interviews come in, I mean, there's actors, there's adult stars. I mean, as you just said, Thomas Nicholas from American Pie. I've got other American Pie interviews with the directors, John Hurwitz and Hayden Schlossberg. There's a lot of interviews coming up which are going to be interesting, possibly one soon with James Franco.
Wow.
Which will be pretty good. Robert Englund, who played Freddy Krueger in the Nightmare on Elm Street, the original films, and there should be an interview with Danielle Harris soon, who starred in a horror series called Hatchet, which will be quite interesting as well. There's some big names coming up ahead. I mean, Fast and Furious, the guys over there got in touch, and I might be interviewing a guy that went toe-to-toe with The Rock on the aeroplane right at the end of Fast and Furious 6. And I mean, this guy makes The Rock look tiny. This guy is absolutely huge.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I've seen pictures of them next to each other.
Yeah, Kim Cole, he's he's a beast. He's a complete beast. But yeah, I mean, he's a really nice guy, and he really wants to do the interview, so hopefully we can sort something out quite soon. Yeah,
you mentioned Marlon Wayans. I think everyone's a fan of one of the Wayans brothers, or all of them as a collective.
Yeah.
Done so much. Their body of work is so amazing. I'm well into Damon Wayans and stuff he's done, like My Wife and Kids on the TV, films like Last Boy Scout, Mo Money. He's done some good films, and Marlon too. They're the Wayans Brothers TV series, so that must have been really good. Loads of fun.
It was unbelievable. I mean, I think that even the night before we even spoke, I was watching Don't Be a Menace, which is a film that Marlon is. I mean, that kind of shot him into the spotlight before White Chicks and all them came along. But what a fantastic film! And then to think that next day I was speaking to him was unbelievable.
Yeah, I do like that film. It's got the longest title ever. Don't Be a Menace to the Juice in the Hood. It's basically a Mickey take of all those films were out at the time, like Menace to Society, Boys in the Hood, etc. But yeah, really, really funny. And I suppose all the Scary Movie stuff came on the back of that and the success of that as a parody film. I remember Hot Shots had been out before, but really good stuff. So we're going to have an ad break, and then we're going to come back with Sean, with Corey, and loads more innuendo films. We've got quite a few now, haven't we, mate?
Yes, we do.
We've got quite a few.
Six Towns Radio.
So it is Innuendo Day. For anyone who doesn't know, Sean, tell everybody what Innuendo Day is and who started that.
Well, Innuendo Day was basically a by-project from the guys behind Movie 43 UK. I mean, their Facebook page, plugging Movie 43, which has come out on DVD and Blu-ray as of this week. And I mean, they've done some great, unusual challenges over the last 43 days, but this is definitely one of the best. So basically, we hashtag Innuendo Day, and everybody's on Twitter hashtagging innuendo films, innuendo music, and basically just having a good time on there and really plugging the film as well at the same time. So a big shout out to the guys at Movie 43 UK, Fetch Publicity, Cult Labs, and Innuendo Day, the Twitter page itself.
Yeah, I do like what they did with the old promotional campaign. Some people, just put a film out because they can, and you might see a few posters up. Some people go the extra mile with the merch and everything like that. So, Corey.
Yes.
I'll give you the honours of reading out the first few innuendo films from your side of the desk. Be good. Right, this is your last day. Be good and be careful. Careful what you read out. Go on.
Batteries not included.
That's a fantastic one. Hashtag innuendo films, innuendo day. Come on.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yep.
I'll have a look on Facebook.
We've got Die Hard on Facebook from Dan Chapman. The Camels Are Coming. I've not seen that film. Have you seen the film The Camels Are Coming?
It doesn't sound too appealing, does it?
Some people are putting their own there, so we won't read them out. But Dirty Dancing, I suppose. Free Willy and Octopussy are quite good ones from Tommy Welch. Who else have we got? Oh, Leslie Twemlow, Snatch, A Few Good Men, and Deep Impact. See, we like your thinking here. You're on the right level, the gutter level. That's what innuendos are. So innuendo films, hashtag innuendo films and innuendo day. Have you got any more over there quickly?
No, not yet.
Okay, we're going to play from the new Fast and the Furious film. Is it number 6?
It is.
See, I'm up to speed with this sort of thing. This is 2 Chainz, Wiz Khalifa, We Own It. Friday afternoon. Hope you're enjoying the songs this afternoon. We've been playing some songs from the movies. It's my pleasure to have Sean Evans from backtothemovies.co.uk with me today. We've talked about the magazine. We've talked about some of the interviews you've done. Let's talk props now. We're not like my peeps and my props, nothing like that. Actual film props. You've got quite a few, haven't you?
I have, yes. I've got quite a collection at home that's cluttering up the house just a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I source them from studio warehouses direct from the film, or there's people in the UK like the Prop Store of London or the Movie Prop Warehouse who actually sell these props that you can own a piece from your favourite film or TV show.
It'd be good if you had a pub or something like that, or a restaurant, you could like put them on the walls like Planet Hollywood.
I'm thinking about it.
Is that the next step? The Back to the Movies restaurant, yeah, that would be good. So tell us some of the things you've got.
Well, I've over the years, I mean, obviously I've sold a good majority of the stuff now because there's too much coming in, but I own an alien head from Alien 3, which is extremely rare. I mean, half the pieces, they don't exist anymore, and if they are, they're in private hands or in a museum. I've actually won a Spartacus sword from the TV show last week, so that came through. That was pretty awesome. I mean, it had all prop blood on the handle, and it was a full metal sword. I mean, what they do in films, if there's a lot of people on set with swords, the background actors would have rubber swords or wooden swords, but if it's close up to the camera, it would be a full metal sword, obviously blunted so nobody gets hurt, or a stunt sword. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I've got an axe used by Brendan Fraser at the end of The Mummy Returns when he's fighting the Scorpion King. He picks up an axe, and I've got that exact axe that he used in that scene. A lot of stuff from Saw that I've got. I've got props from Back to the Future, Star Wars, and Terminator as well.
Yeah, what have you got from Back to the Future?
From Back to the Future, nothing amazing. I mean, ages ago I had one of the little Pizza Hut wraps that I think it was used right in the future. I think it was in the second one. They put a little Pizza Hut thing in the microwave and it comes out as a full pizza. Yeah. So yeah, I had one of them, and one of the little dollar notes with Biff's face on it when he owns the casino, and the second one as well. So yeah, I've got from that, and I mean that's all I can think of. I mean, I did own something else from Back to the Future, but I can't quite pinpoint what it was. There's so much stuff comes in,
it's gone
and
back
goes
to the
out. Yeah.
You brought a prop down today. Let me just grab it. It's not as heavy as it looks. It's still quite heavy. I'll give you a bit of a... People might have seen this on the webcam already, but... Yes, this is from a very famous film that most people will have seen. Oscar-winning film. And we might as well tell the listeners where it's from, but it's brilliant. We're going to put some pictures if that's okay. Can we take a picture of it?
Yeah, of course you can.
But that is from Saving Private Ryan.
It is indeed.
You've got one of the helmets used in that film, so obviously that would have been one of the fight scenes.
Yeah, it was. I mean, for the majority, I mean, that is quite a heavy helmet, so for someone to wear that all day on set, it just wouldn't happen. So basically they had 3 sets. They'd have these really fiberglass helmets that people could wear without it being heavy. They could wear it all day and they wouldn't even know it was on their heads. And then for these ones, these would be for special effects. Now this one especially, there's 2 little dents on the top of the helmet where these things called squibs would be attached. Now squibs are baby fireworks that would be linked to a little blood pack, so if the person got shot in the head, the fireworks would explode, and there you go, you've got like a headshot effect on camera there. So that's one of the helmets that was used in the background if someone got shot in the head.
Yeah, I can imagine being on a film set, that you're there standing around for hours and hours and hours and hours, so wearing something like that wouldn't be practical.
No.
So obviously you've mentioned the swords, you have wooden swords, you have like fiberglass helmets. What other little movie inside things can you tell us about?
I know for a fact that Mel Gibson used a stunt sword on Braveheart because the sword was that big, a full metal version. Him carrying that around all day, it would be impossible even for a guy of Mel Gibson's physique at the time. But the actual sword is retractable. I mean, the blade itself was interchangeable, so one blade was taken out and it was replaced with a stunt blade that was retractable, so if he stabbed somebody, the blade would retract and it would look as though it was going through someone's body. They had another blade that was attached, which was the full length metal, but it was a lightweight metal, so he could carry it around a lot. And then there was the close-up version, which looked near enough to an actual sword as it possibly could, and I think that sold for about $15,000 at auction. So it was unbelievable what the amount of money that these props go for.
Collectibles, people with a lot of money, would want something like that.
Yeah.
And, having a piece of a movie that you love, as the ideal scenario for some people. But I bet there's a lot of fakes on eBay of stuff, especially I've seen coins from Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff, and they seem to have millions of them.
Yeah, I mean, in some cases, you never know. I mean, say if they're Pirates of the Caribbean, they are selling something on eBay, it's quite hard to tell which ones are real and which ones are fake nowadays. Normally the ones I go for are ones with like certificate history or documentation to prove it's from that production, or I just go straight to the sellers themselves, like the Prop Store of London, and then deal with them directly rather than going on eBay, because you can never be too sure. I remember someone paid over £1,500 for I think it was something from Saving Private Ryan, and it turned out to be a complete fake. They had these fake certificates printed out. They didn't look professional. They weren't signed. They weren't from any studio. Some guy basically brought a helmet, distressed it to make it look old, and then sold it as the real thing.
Whoa. Yeah, I can imagine that happens quite a lot. But yeah, I remember going on eBay once, and there was a movie prop from Back to the Future 2, from the future, one of the outfits. And I thought, well, that's got to be real, because it wasn't like one of the main characters' outfits. It was just something from the background. And if somebody's gone to that much trouble to knock up an outfit from one of the extras in Back to the Future 2, they're either crazy or very clever. So I thought I might buy that.
Well, they've got a lot of time on their hands.
I wouldn't know what to do with it, but what could you do? Put it up on the wall, I suppose, get it framed. So I suppose a lot of the stuff you've got is in storage.
Well, if storage means littered around my bedroom, computer room and office, then yeah, definitely. I mean, the smaller props are obviously in drawers and things, but I've actually had to buy a cabinet to put stuff in because there's just that much stuff lying around.
Ideally, from any film, what would you like to own if you could own a prop?
A DeLorean, a working one that actually takes me back to that would be interesting. A full bat suit would be interesting as well. And something I've always had my eye on is a Superman Christopher Reeves costume, but I don't have a $30,000 to $40,000 at the moment.
Is that the asking price?
I think that's the minimum asking price. Yeah, definitely. I think Marlon Brando played Superman's father in one of the old films, and he had like this silvery sort of costume, and the amount of money that went for, can't remember the exact amount because it was sold through a company called Profiles in History over in California, but the amount it went for, it was substantial. I think it was six figures.
So for Chewbacca's outfit, put a figure on it.
That's definitely six figures.
Yeah, it's £1 million.
Yeah, Peter Mayhew's costume. Yeah. I mean, even his autographs are going for £30, £40 each. And I had the privilege of speaking to Peter about a year ago now, and he sent me a nice autograph. So I've got a nice little freebie there from Chewbacca himself. So yeah, not too bad.
I've spoken to a couple of people from Star Wars. Dave Prowse, obviously. Jeremy Bulloch, who's in your magazine. He's lovely, isn't he, Jeremy Bulloch?
He's a very nice guy. Yeah.
I also thought Kenny Baker's phoned him up, but I've never phoned him up. I thought about it because he's like R2D2. Kenny Baker is, and he lives in Preston. It's one of them famous quotes that R2D2 lives in Preston. I think there's a book called that about famous little tic-tacs and miscellany. But I've never actually phoned him up. Who else from Star Wars have we had on? I've had somebody else on. I can't remember now. That's going to bug me. But let's play another song. Despicable Me 2 is out at the moment. I've seen the first one, and I quite like the first one.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go watch the second one. This is from the first one. This is Leonard Skinner's Sweet Home Alabama. So you just heard Leonard Skinner, Sweet Home Alabama, and Will Smith, Men in Black. It's the Men in. Quite a good film. I don't think I've seen Men in Black 2. I remember I've only seen one. Have you seen Men in Black 2?
A bit of it.
3?
Yeah.
I've not seen them.
3's a good one.
So going straight into musical Mogwai. Sean Evans is sticking around. We've got some more questions from him in a minute, but we've got to do record of the week. It's been day number 5 for this one. Let's do the jingle first of all. It's a lovely jingle. One of my favourites.
The Bossons About musical Mogwai. Yes, it's time for Terry's Record of the Week. Only on Six Towns Radio.
So I will have a new musical Mogwai on Monday, but this is day number 5 for Southwall Corner Club. It's called Birds of War. Played it every day this week, and it's been... Well, I say it's been one of the best we've done for a while. Quite a lot of people interacting, saying they like it. So what do you think of it? Loving it, Southwall Corner Club. Got to give you an announcement about them next week. But right now, we have got Sean Evans in the studio. Backtothemovies.co.uk is his website. Doing all right. So what's next for you, Sean?
There's quite a few things all happening all at once. I mean, currently I'm working on an independent film called Staging Grief, directed by Tanya Yang, who I had an interview with this week, actually, so that's straight up on there on the Back to the Movies YouTube page. Paolo Auto Stories is a short collection of short films taken from a book that James Franco has actually written, and hopefully I've got an interview with James Franco himself coming up very soon, and also a movie called Fear Clinic, which is going to star some huge horror names such as Robert Englund, who plays Freddy Krueger, and Kane Hodder, who was the guy who played Jason in Jason's Part 7, 8, 9 and Jason X. So it's going to be a nice little collection of horror junkies all in one film there, so it's going to be amazing for horror fans out there.
Yeah, and there's a wrestler you're working with as well, isn't there?
Yeah, I'm actually working with WWE legend Mick Foley, who's basically doing a documentary called I Am Santa Claus. So in the run for Christmas, he's gone out dressed as Santa Claus. He's always got this obsession with Christmas. Every time I speak to him, he's got some crazy snowman jumper on, and it's like summertime. But yeah, I mean, that should be funded quite soon, actually. It's doing really well. A lot of people are getting behind it because obviously it's Mick Foley. And I actually met up with Chris Jericho a few weeks ago, who's helping Mick on the film as well, and the wrestler CM Punk might be making a little cameo appearance in there, so it's quite interesting. I'm not sure what they're going to actually do with it. I'm not sure what the kind of pitch is. I don't know if they're just going out dressed as Santa Claus, if they're going to do like a comedy sketch like in the lives of Santa Claus. I don't know what they're doing, but the Kickstarter video, it's definitely quite interesting to watch what they're doing, and looks like they're going to get up to something crazy, that's for sure. I mean, Mick Foley, ever since he fell off a 40-foot cage, he hasn't been right ever since, he told me, so I think it'll be an interesting watch.
Is there as many movies made like in the 2010s as there has been going back? Because obviously there's recession everywhere. Because I know you've mentioned Kickstarter a couple of times and people making their own films. Has that been the new way of doing it?
Well, I mean, studios, they're never going to run out of money. You put a film out in the cinema and chances are people will go to see it, if it's good, of course. But, I mean, independent film, I mean, it's really rising through the ranks. I mean, anybody in the street can make a film. Now, if they don't have the money, they go on these fundraising websites and try to raise the cash for their sort of projects and hopefully have people come on board to back them. Now, obviously, not everyone's going to be interested, so that's why the Kickstarter campaigns are amazing, because they offer perks in return for donations. You throw in £10, you get a free DVD. You throw in £20, you get a DVD and a signed picture or something like that, working up to something like £5,000, where you could be on set or actually in the film yourself. So it really does appeal. And, I mean, anybody can make a film, and if you put like tasty perks out there, like a day on set or a flight out to LA or something, I mean, who's going to turn that down if they've got the cash? I
think of these people who buy the props, the next best thing is to be in the film.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that something else you want to do?
It's something that I've been asked to do, but it's just travel and obviously work commitments as well. I know for damn sure that I'm going to be in the film that my friend Ad is working on, called Invasion of the Not Quite Dead. He has been working for 4 years non-stop fundraising for this film, and it's gone worldwide. He's had people like Jonathan Ross on board with the project. He's got Dominic Brunt, who plays Paddy in Emmerdale, on there. He's got Zach Galligan, who might be in the film himself, who was the young lad from Gremlins. And there's so many people on board with him, helping him out. And I mean, the work that he's done so far for the independent community, he's just blown it into like a worldwide sort of awareness. I mean, Hollywood studios are watching Ad's project. So to be asked to go down on set and to actually interview cast and crew live on camera, I'll be doing behind the scenes footage, I'll be doing makeup interviews with people who are having the zombie effects and stuff on, and I've been offered a part in the film as well, so that should be interesting. If I'm going to be dressed up as a zombie in the background, or if I'm going to be killed off, I don't really care. I'm going to be on
method acting,
film.
You know what I mean? That's what it's just get up a bit rough one morning and on set.
Exactly.
Oh, I feel rough. Oh, yeah. Oh, you look a good zombie. Exactly. No, I just feel a bit rough. But yeah, I do like what you do, Sean. You're a local lad, and you've penetrated Hollywood basically
somehow. Yeah.
By doing what you do. I think it's fantastic. We're going to get Corey to ask you 3 questions. We get the work experience guys working hands on. So if you face Corey, take it away. What are your 3 questions for Sean?
What's your favourite prop that you have?
My favourite one of all time, it's got to be the Alien head. I'm a huge fan of Alien, and to actually have a head in my house is absolutely crazy. But to wake up to it every single morning, or to wake up for it half cut, it just scares the hell out of you. I mean, it's so realistic, it's so detailed, but yeah, that's definitely my favourite.
You're behind some films. Do you sometimes think that you want to do one yourself?
I mean, Not films exactly, because I mean, there's a lot of ideas stirring around up there, but actually helping people out was the main focus from the start, so I wouldn't like to take any attention away. I've got like a little Fiverr campaign that I'm doing at the moment just to raise some funds for a documentary that's coming out, which will be all like behind the scenes interviews that we've done, all the stuff that the public hasn't seen, maybe a celebrity embarrassing themselves, maybe something that nobody knows. I mean, there's certain little things that Mick Foley's told me that we're not even sure if we can air yet, because as I said before, he is crazy. But yeah, it should be interesting to see if people can get behind the documentary. I mean, but as a whole, back to the movies, it's just about helping filmmakers, independent and studio. So we'll see how it goes.
I'm on my work experience now. Do you remember your work experience and what did you do?
I was at the time I was studying IT in school, actually it was, and I worked for my brother's company. So, he works at Wardle Armstrong and based in Festival Park, and he's the IT manager there. But I think I remember it being quite an easy week of me sitting on a laptop, playing on random games, and then ordering in pizza every dinner. So I can't complain with my work experience. So hopefully yours has been just as fun as well.
It sounds.
Well, great stuff, Sean. Good luck with it all, mate, and we'll have to get a bit of a catch-up on the go later on in the year. But thank you very much for being a great guest today.
No problem, Terry. Thank you.